And here is my next task. I've bought a cheap insulated door and I'm going to fit it on the outside of the kitchen door. I'm going to leave the kitchen door in place so that we end up with a very thin void between the two doors, so that should insulate and stop the cold reaching the kitchen. This is the side door into the kitchen. It's only a thin timber door. It is oak, so it's extremely heavy, and other than a couple of cracks in the panels, it's still pretty serviceable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a insulated PVC door on the outside, make a window to go over the top, and then we should be a lot warmer in the kitchen. Thing is, I do need to make the new plain white door look like a panelled brown door, so that's my first job. First thing I need to do is to paint this door, and to do that I'm going to have to rub it down with some fine wet and dry, and then I'm going to spray it with this etching primer, which should bite into the plastic and mean that the paint is not going to flake off in the future. Remove any dust. Put the glue on the back of the piece. Spray the activator onto the board, and then put the trim in position. Try and get it accurate, because that is now stuck. It's that fast. So there we go, that's one fake panel door made. All the pieces of wood are stuck on, and once it's painted you won't know they're not original. Next job to do is to put the etching primer on, so I think we'd better take it outside. So to fill the gap above the new door frame, I need to make a small window. This has a curved top, so the bottom and sides is straightforward. It's just a 3 pieces of straight timber with a tenon joint on the corner, so that will be nice and strong. But obviously across the top it's curved, so I've made myself a template which fits in, and I now need to cut a piece of wood with this curve on. Unfortunately, I can't get a piece of wood that wide to do the curve in one go, so I have 2 smaller pieces that I'm going to have to do and join in the middle. I've cut them out roughly, and what I'm going to do is use the template and screw that on the timber, and then I will cut the edge using a router with a special bit that follows the template. So this is the router bit I'm going to be using. I've used it before on doing the windows, cutting the rebates deeper. As you can see, there is a small bearing there that runs along the edge of the template, and then the cutters will cut back to that line. Well, that worked fairly well. My router just about made it through the thickness of the wood. All I've got to do now is cut them down to width that way, put a curve on. Obviously I just have to adjust my template and screw it on this side so that I can mount on that side, and then I need to do some sort of joint in the middle here to join the 2 pieces together, and then it will be cutting joints on the ends to go into the frame, which is sitting there waiting. So I'm getting there with the door, everything's going well. I've got this small gap down each side to fill in. I'm going to put some insulating material in the back of it, but to stop it coming out I'm going to put a piece of wood trim over this gap. And this is a sample of it, and what it will do, it's going to fit on there like that. It will be glued to the frame, and where these blocks of wood are I'm going to put some screws in to hold it as well. And then that just leaves a tiny little gap at the side which will be siliconed. So, get on with that.